Hey everyone, welcome to our next episode of Fearless Power Podcast.
Fearless Power Podcast.
Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about salons, suites, and booths. So we're going to break that down for you guys. This is going to be really crucial for the hairstylists out there that are listening to us. So first, I don't have much experience on a suite. I've been to one to get like my nails done and stuff like that. But I've never actually like been in one working. So I'm going to ask you some questions so you could break it down for everybody about what that's like, right? And what the atmosphere is like and why you decided to leave, you know? So tell me a little bit, Lou, what was that experience?
The salon suite experience I had two. I had one that had left a commission-based salon, and I wasn't sure how I was going to handle the clients, how many clients was going to transition with me. And then the second time I already had a full book, and I just transitioned my entire book to a 4-day full-time stylist in a suite space. So I feel overall the experience in a suite space could be positive. Yep. But it's lonely. Even if you have a partner with you or an assistant, it could get lonely. There are benefits from leaving a commission-based salon, trying to do your thing and figure things out, but also people don't realize how much owning a suite it is. It's like owning a salon, but just in a small space. Yeah.
I feel like stylists don't understand like what you actually have to put in and pay for having a suite. Like you have to have your like business like point of sale, right? Business.
Well, if you're leaving a commission-based salon, you have to start with your LLC. Yeah. Then you gotta get your business insurance that most suite rentals will like help you for the first year. They say that you're part of their umbrella, but then the following year they can just deduct from your lease. So it helps you out. And then you have your retail, you have your color, you have your booking system,
you have your supplies,
your register. Yeah. Just everything is in a very small space. So when you own a single suite, I think the square footage is about 150 square feet. So you can technically only really fit one mirror and one chair. You can't double book. Yeah. Otherwise, your client is sitting outside.
So you're making less money because you can't double book yourself, and you're paying for all of your stuff.
But now you're working longer hours.
And you're paying business taxes at the end. And like business taxes in general, like until you own a business, you don't realize what you end up paying in taxes. Like salon margins are not big to begin with, whether you're solo or you have a team of people. Salon margins, like you're lucky if you make 20%.
Right. And I feel like when you first transition, sometimes you don't know all that. You're just so excited to do your own thing, open up your own brand and this and that and make your brand and your Instagram. But how are you keeping up with the new clients? How are you bringing more new clients? Now do you have the availability to take on a last minute blowout? Yeah. So these are all the things that like when you are in a small space, you have to juggle that at all times.
I do think though that it could be a very positive thing in the aspect of kind of the route that you took, right? If you want to own a business, but you don't want to jump into owning a whole salon, you need to kind of figure out business strategy and have an understanding, make sure it's for you before you go all the way through with having employees and everything. Right. I think it's a good stepping stone to get to where you want to get to.
Yes. Financially, it is so much cheaper than doing a build out, having an architect, talk to the town for all the perms and all this stuff. It is getting your feet wet. Mm-hmm. And I feel like now with booth rental becoming illegal in New Jersey, and there's a lot of stylists out there in suites, and I feel like a lot of people are like kind of like relieved that they can come back to a salon base and have employees and have friends again. Yeah. I find that talking to a lot of people that are trying to transition to a salon again, they're very lonely, they're not inspired, and they feel like that now their work is just work. There's not like a motivation to go to work.
Yeah, and the accountability too. Or like the knowledge from somebody else that you could kind of bounce off of each other and inspire each other. Like you're just kind of doing it on your own, and then you lose that.
And not passion, to say that there I'm sure there's so many stylists that love to work alone and they don't like stylists. They just want to do their money. They want to
Of
do their
course.
clients and leave. That's
I think
that's
we're talking
why
our personality.
yeah, that's like that's why the suites are good for some people,
Yeah.
you know, but I feel like hair related, I feel like it's very lonely. It's very
Yeah.
lonely. And it could get very overwhelmed because now like the door locks at a certain time. You got to let your client in. It's just a whole thing, you
a whole
know?
production.
And you're paying a lot of money for the small square footage that limits you of how much you can make a week.
I had a stylist that went to a suite and she told me what she was paying weekly. Now, I'm sure everywhere it's different and I'm not going to just say what it is, but what she
Tell
was
you how much I
paying
paid for it was
weekly
ridiculous.
and then what she paid for the month,
Yeah.
I paid half of that amount
Yeah.
for a 5-chair salon for my first salon.
Right.
And like, to me, that's just like outrageous that for 150 square foot space, people are paying all of this money and you have to sustain that by yourself. Where when I got this 5-chair salon, I was like, even if I was by myself and I never had an employee, like worst case scenario, I could pay this by myself.
Right.
That's the way I looked at it when I was opening up a whole business. You know what I mean?
And you did the opposite. You went from, well, suite rentals were not a thing, I think,
They
when
weren't
you
a
first
thing
opened.
yet,
So
no.
that was your choice. So you started out from there.
You just had to go right to it.
right
You
from
didn't
there.
get to get your
Yeah.
feet wet first.
Right.
You just had to jump right in. But, you know, you spoke about booth rentals. And what I do want to say is with the salon that I have in Miami, they already have
Are you
booth
both
rental.
renting in Miami?
We're not.
Okay.
But we had to learn a lot because it was very different from New Jersey, being that they had suites, studios, booth rentals, commission salons. They had everything there. So we had to learn. Basically, what we learned is that when stylists are looking for a job, they're either looking for a booth rental place or they're looking for a commission salon. They're not looking for both together in one. And the reason being is because if you are a booth rental, you are supplying your own stuff too as well, for the most part. The
So you
salon
have
might
to have a
supply certain
locker,
things.
you have
but-
to have that privacy where
and then
they
you
can
have your
put their things
commission
in.
people that you're supplying everything for. So it's kind of like two mixed together in one place. So people are specifically looking for either the booth rental and everyone there is a booth rental, or they're looking for the commission. The downfall as an owner for a booth rental is, if that's like all you're doing, is that you kind of just are capping off at what you make rent wise. And that's it, but you're not in charge of anybody. You only have to supply certain things, so it's very minimal overhead, and you basically cover your bills and probably make a little extra, right?
Yeah.
With commission, you are able to grow a whole team.
It's unlimited.
It's unlimited. You grow people, you focus on them. It's like what we love to do. It's the fulfilling part of it. The booth doesn't have the fulfilling
Doesn't have
part
that.
of it.
It's just paying your bills and,
No.
and like it's like a small business that you don't have to be in it
Exactly.
100%, and it's just generating money.
And that's in like an open concept salon. Now, if you have a salon like yours where you have like the back rooms and stuff that are kind of private from the salon, I think 100% you could have people that are renting a space, right? Because it's separated.
It separates from the salon space
Exactly.
itself.
So it won't affect your salon space or your employees that you have already as commission stylists.
Right.
So I know that it was something that we wanted to bring up too because did you say January?
Yeah, I think starting in January,
Yeah.
don't quote me like in a full fact, but it's booth rental in New Jersey is supposed to be finally legal. And I feel like it could be a relief for some salons that are struggling maintaining a stylist.
100%.
Because now maybe the stylist coming in loves the way the salon looks, but hates like the owner, the salon. But now if they're able to like maybe work under that aesthetic and
Yeah.
do their thing and not have to follow through with a manager or a salon owner, you know, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's still rules and guidelines that you have to obviously have for a salon that is booth rental, because you can just do anything you want.
Yeah.
But I feel like bigger salons that might be struggling right now keeping the stylist, I feel like it might open up a little bit of a window for them to like reinvent
Sustain their
themselves a little
business.
bit more
Yeah.
without having to shut down completely.
Yeah. And still have an income coming in, which is amazing
Right.
because sometimes you think that you can manage all of these people or lead all of these people as an owner, and it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
You
work.
know, you have multiple children,
Do you
basically.
feel that the suite, you know, so many suites have opened up in the last 5 years. I feel like every town has a
Yeah.
suite space.
Yep.
Do you feel that they are now struggling keeping those suites packed? Or do you feel like they
Yeah.
still have a wait list?
I don't think they have a wait
I don't think they have a wait
I think
list
people
either.
did it and then a year later realized like
It's not as easy.
It's
They
not
gotta
as
pay taxes.
easy.
They're like, oh, I owe.
Or the lease goes up, the following year, and it's kind of like, oh,
Or maybe
like,
your
do I really
client,
want
not
to
all your
pay
clients
that?
came, or your clients came once or twice, but now they're not coming
they're not
back.
getting
They're
that
not
salon
retaining it. They're not
experience.
getting the salon experience.
I
And you know
also-
what? That's a huge thing. Like a
experience.
suite experience versus a salon experience, no matter how comfortable and how much of a luxury suite space you can give that experience to a client, it's not the same as in a salon.
Yeah.
Because it's so small.
Yeah.
You know, you can serve champagne, you can serve your cotton candy, whatever, you can have anything. But here, at the end of the day, you're right next to the stylist, the sink, and the other client that might be walking in. There is no, like, there's no 360. You're with that person for the whole time. You know, and if you don't like the person next to you, you're stuck with that client, that stylist client next to you for the first, 2 hours or so.
Or what about like when you have a difficult client?
Oh my God, I went through that.
When you're in a
I went
salon,
through
you
that.
have the backing of the salon.
You're like, let's go to the other chair real quick. Let's go outside.
Or like the salon, like this is what we charge. Like I'm not in charge of like the pricing, the salon. Like you could kind of have the backing of the salon, right?
Oh, right. You meaning that? I thought you meant when like a client doesn't like something, or she's it's like a bad client.
Yeah.
And then like she's in there, now your clients are watching. It's like a reality show.
Yeah.
It's like and you're like, you're like, can we go outside? I had an experience like that. And I had it was a full Saturday, and I had 4 chairs in my double suite. So my suite was about 220 square feet for the second time around. I have an assistant, Peter, that was taking down all my colors, but it was one sink. So we worked 10 times harder. So we had a day that this client wasn't really happy with her color, and all my clients were there, all repeat clients, and everybody just sat. Everybody was just like, where's the popcorn?
Pure entertainment.
I was like, let's go outside so we can chat a little better, because I was like, and then when you walk back in, everybody's like, what happened? It turned into like salon drama. I mean, I think my clients loved it, but I was like, guys, it's so uncomfortable as an owner to go through that and not being able to space that out in a salon,
Or what if you guys think that I actually didn't do a really good job, and now you're like second guessing my work?
Well, I didn't even think
not
of that.
That's a thing, but you produce beautiful work.
Absolutely. So those are some of the stuff, I don't think suites are going to go away completely, but I do think that there is a lot of people coming out of them and going back to a salon space for sure.
And to speak on like the salon, because that's our primary focus now, like a salon environment just has a lot of pros to it. Nothing against suites or booths or anything, but the positive of it is like if you're not a person that has hustle, you have the accountability of somebody else. If you're not a person that knows how to grow yourself, you have the accountability of the salon that they promise that they're gonna grow you as a stylist, and they teach you how to grow yourself as well. So now if you meet halfway with the owner and yourself utilizing your Instagram and everything else, how fast are you gonna grow?
Yeah.
So you have the ability of so much, and then you have the backing when you raise your prices and different things like, oh, they raised me up because I do all this education and I do this, and this, so I raise my prices.
Yeah, that you have like someone to back you up is like,
so I think, and then the continued education that we offer for free to our people, and they get to stay inspired.
Or just to get motivated with a new hair trend. When you're in a suite, you're literally like working, and then you go home and you're like, now I have to sit and watch a video. And it's just, not that that nobody does that nobody has time, but it is harder to stay motivated when you're in a small space. Also too, like, because obviously social media is so huge, the photos, the afters are so different than a salon space. There's no background, everything is white or whatever the wall color that you choose. And a lot of times your clients are checking out of your suite, you're running outside to take a photo, and then your client is already there waiting for you because you're obviously running behind because we're a stylist.
We're always running
so now
behind.
You're just going on that hallway, but then you haven't peed for like 5 hours. So and then you're just like a shit show. Just to try to fill all those hats. So booth rental is coming to New Jersey. I'm interested to know how everything is going to work out, and how the salons are going to do. And I'm very interested to know if the suites are going to stay as full as they are.
I know.
But you know what? Just touch bases on one last thing. I feel like the suite rentals are great for facials, nails, waxing, lashes, things that you already know, that spray tan, things that you know that no matter what, that's the service. You're always with the client in one room. Yeah. You know, I feel like salon, you have a whole environment, like to create, to talk, to hang out, to talk, you know, what about anything.
And I could speak for me. Yeah. Like,
have you ever been a client in a suite?
I actually went to visit a friend that had a suite and got a blowout with her. But like, to talk, not to downplay anything, this is just for me and my personality. I do so well being around people. I am like a people person. I do so well being around my friends and being able to bounce ideas off of them when I'm formulating and different things. Like, I can't imagine being by myself and not being able to just have that high energy with somebody else. Like, your energies are just like bouncing off of each other. Yep. That's just me and my personality. I know your personality is very similar, you know? So, I don't think, and then there's people that like don't even really like to talk to their clients that much and just are very chill and zen, and their clients are very chill and zen. Like, you find your client that's tailored to your personality.
100%.
So if that's your personality already and you go to a suite and your clients love that quiet, chill, close their eyes and like just kind of disconnect, like, you're in the perfect place, you know?
Yes.
I do think it depends on the person and their personality too. I would probably last not even a month.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
Not that you could break a lease, but
it was.
It
was hard.
Lose it, you know, or I'd have to make friends with all the people next to me in the other suites because.
But honestly, you would think you would have like, there's 30 suites. You think you're gonna have 30 friends. You don't. There, a lot of the suites, like, I work different hours, I guess. So like some of the suites will be full, and their doors are closed.
Everyone works different hours.
The doors are closed, and then I'm like knocking, like, hi. I feel like I was the social butterfly in the suite space because I kept my doors open. Like, I yelled because we were loud, you know, but I was like, well, if the doors are closed, I get too hot. If the doors are open, I'm too loud. But like, I feel like I want a little bit more room. So the hallway with the door being open makes me feel bigger. And really, like, no, I was just in a very small space. Just like trying to make the best out of it. Oh my, obviously. Yeah, so.
And this is a little briefing, you know, like, I have nothing against booth rentals.
No, I don't either.
Like, New York's been doing it forever too. I have nothing against suites. I just know that what we do and our salon and our culture is just something that you get, and it's for a specific type of people.
A specific type of people.
And if somebody down the road is interested in the other options, that means that culture that we offer, that atmosphere, just isn't for them. And that's okay too, because I have had people that worked for me that had left to go on to their next journey in a suite. And I was really happy for them, you know? So I think that it just, you know, it's your personality.
To each its own,
To each their own.
Yeah, but I'm all about the salon environment. So I lived it twice in different parts of
you went through it all.
Life, and I'm like, I like the people.
You went through that, and I decided to open a salon in Miami and not have a clue about booth rentals or anything, or what the commission is like. Or some people want to be 1099, some people want to be W-2. There's more 1099 in Florida than there is W-2. This was all new for me. So I definitely learned a lot, but I think it was good that we spoke about this topic a little bit. I think it helps people to understand like what else is out there and what their personality is, and also like what we offer as salons too.
Absolutely. And I feel like our podcast is always talking about what's going on the day to day. So if you guys have any topics that you guys want us to talk about, please like drop below on the comment or DM the Fearless Power Podcast Instagram or our personal Instagrams, because we're always looking for new topics to talk about and what's going on now in the beauty industry. This was amazing. Fearless Power Podcast. We gotta go because we're moms and we got things to do.
It's time to clock out. Thanks, guys.
Yes, until next time.